Alright, welcome to class everyone. We'll start in a wide knee child's pose if that feels comfortable for you this morning. If you would prefer to lie on your back, you can draw your knees into a relaxed happy baby. So first option will be maybe getting your blanket to give your knees a little bit of padding here. To have knees mat distance apart. Big toes might touch, or you might have the feet slightly apart, and then once you're settled with your buttocks on your heels, slowly start to come forward. We'll have a really relaxed version of this morning, so you can have your hands and your forearms and your elbows on the mat. If you don't want to be on your knees today, you can always choose to come to lie down and have one hand to each knee, and just let the weight of your hands draw your knees down, so not using so much muscular effort to be in this position this morning. And once you've chosen that place that you'd like to be, if you're in your forward-facing version, you can use your block as well to give the head and neck a little support here. And then start to close your eyes down. And letting the inner thigh area soften. And then take your breath and soften across the upper back. So space around the middle of the back and up around the shoulder blades, that space between the shoulder blades. And as you move up a little bit further, soften the muscles around the neck and the shoulders, and let your shoulders, if you're in a child's pose type position, let the shoulders round forward. If you're lying down, let the shoulder blades move back to rest on the mat. And soften the jaw. Feel your arms are becoming heavier. Hands are relaxed. And start to direct the breath into the back body. So as you breathe into that space behind the heart and feel the back body lift up. So as everything stays soft and relaxed. Opening up in the back. If you're on the floor, you'll feel this maybe as pressing down into the mat. And we'll take a few full breaths here. Every time you breathe out, soften in the inner thighs, soften the hips, soften the groin. Letting the eyes become heavy, and the cheeks are very relaxed. Not really much movement at all here, it's just your breath into the back of the body. And then from here, we're going to come up to sit. If you're in child's pose and your knees are okay with it, wait for your inhale and lift up, and you might even like to sit on your heels here. You could come into Sirsasana, hero's pose, so taking the heels wide and then letting the bottom come down to rest in that space between your feet. You might like to use your block here. You can keep your knees on your blanket if you've been using it, so maybe knees on the mat, maybe block under buttocks. If the knees don't want to be bent, come into any kind of other seated posture. And close your eyes. Hands on your thighs. And lift up, feeling the lift in the spine here as you breathe in. And then soften and feel the sitting bones move down onto whatever they're touching. And we'll breathe in, lift up, shoulders might roll up and back. And then exhale, soften. And once you feel comfortable in your seeing with your breath, connecting with your sankalpa, your intention for your practice. If you feel called to, you can move your hands, maybe both hands to heart, one hand to belly, one hand to chest. So that you can feel your breath and connect with the movement of your breath as you connect with your sankalpa. And when you're ready, repeating your sankalpa to yourself 3 times. And once you've finished connecting with your intention, if you're in Virasana, you'll need to very slowly lift up. You can give your legs a little stretch, so being really mindful of your knees here. You might like to rock back and forth on the ball of the foot one at a time. And then coming to sit again. So cross-legged, if you prefer to be in Virasana, you can stay on your knees. Take the legs out in front and bring some movement to the arms and the spine here. On your next inhale, lifting up, reaching the fingertips up to the sky, and as you breathe out, hands to heart. So we'll use this movement to connect with the rhythm of our breath. The inhale, lift out and up, 2, 3. There's a pause as we reach. Exhale, 2, 3, hands to heart. And inhale, reach out and up. Lift the side body and pause. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do 2 more like this. Reaching so the upper arms feel active and the fingertips feel active as you reach away from the midline. And exhale, hands to heart. And breathing in, reach out, lower belly in slightly, making space throughout the whole spine, and exhale, come down. If your legs are crossed, let's take the other shin in front here. Come back, nestling down, hands come to knees this time. Seated cat-cows. So you can let your chin drop and then wait for the inhale and lead with the crown of the head as you bring the gaze and the chest forward, and you might feel the sitting bones lift up off the mat. And then exhale, rounding back, chin to chest again. And then the chin stays at chest, and inhale, come forward. Feel this openness in the front of the body. And exhale, round. And we'll stay here a few more breaths. So you can use this practice to stay with or keep connecting with the rhythm of your breath. And if you'd like to introduce arms, the next inhale as you come forward, the arms can reach out and up. Exhale, fists to hips as we round back. So 2 more. Either hands are lifting or the hands are staying on the thighs, and exhale, come back. 1 more inhale, lifting out and up. Exhale, fists to hips. Inhale, neutral spine. All those neutral curves, roll the shoulders up and back. If you've got props on your mat, taking them off to the side. And then choosing puppy pose, downward dog, or maybe back to child's pose from here. It's okay, roll over the knees or take your feet off to the side. And finding your way into your chosen position. So socks off's probably a good idea now. And if you're coming into downward dog, check your hands here. So index fingers facing forward, which means this wrist crease is parallel with the top edge of your mat, or maybe even a little bit wider, so a little bit away from your midline here. You're pressing down into the base of your thumb, the base of your index finger, and then each of the other fingers, and move the legs however you'd like to. And you can rock a little bit side to side as well to find some stretch down the side of the body here. So as you straighten one leg and press that hip a little bit away from the midline of the body, accentuating the stretch down the side of the body, and then change sides. The hands are still firmly pressing down here. And then coming to stillness. If you're in downward dog and you're still comfortable to be here, inhale, lift your right leg up, point the toes, at the left heel drop. So stretching out the back of the left leg for a moment here. Gaze to your left big toe, lift that right foot a little bit higher, but we're keeping the hips level. So there's activation in the glute here and activation in the right thigh as we lift up. Well, on your next exhale, bring that knee into the chest. We're going to take it into a number 4 downward dog if you'd like. So we flex the right foot, take your right ankle to the left thigh and press back here. So we're making sure that you've got your ankle on your thigh so you haven't slid your foot too far over to the left. Right foot stays flexed, let the left heel drop and press into the hands. And then once you feel comfortable here, right knee starts to move back. So this will be an active action because we can't use our hand to press into that thigh. Using the action of externally rotating, so taking the knee back towards the back edge of the mat. Another breath in and out, check even weight in the hands. Inhale, come forward to release, point the toes. Exhale, three-legged dog, stretch it out again. So hips are level, left heel comes down, press into the hands. Wait for a breath out, both feet on the mat. If you need a little rest, take the weight off the arms. Can come to child's pose. If you're okay in downward dog, we'll stay here, 2 breaths wherever you are. If you're in child's pose, letting the arms and the hands relax completely here. And then after those 2 breaths, if you're not in downward dog, let's lift up. Then we'll move to this number 4, 3-legged dog movement on the other side. Wait for your inhale, start the breath in, left leg lifts, right heel drops. So we're pointing the toes. Focus first, stretch on the back of the right leg. Hands are taking even weight, heart's moving back, left foot's engaged here. So if that left leg feels floppy, it'll make it feel really heavy. So we want to keep this left thigh drawing up, lift a little bit higher on the inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, so the shoulders are coming over the wrists. It's like we're in a rounded plank. Flex your left foot, left ankle to right thigh, and then we press back. So again, adjust ankle on thigh. Don't let that leg slide too far towards the right here. Left foot stays engaged, hands taking even weight, right heel down, left knee back and breathe. So finding the length in the spine here. Arms are engaged, right heel drops. So feeling maybe sensation down the back of the right leg, opening up in our left hip here. Take another breath in and out. On an inhale, knee comes to center, shoulders over wrists, left foot is pointed. Exhale, 3-legged dog, stretch it out, right heel drops. Exhale, foot comes down, a breath in and out. We'll start the walk 4 on your inhale, maybe coming up onto your fingertips here, and then tiptoe all the way up to the top of the mat. So keeping the heels lifted as high as you can as you tiptoe all the way up, and then breathe out, ground the feet, let the lower body soften, let the torso relax. Wait for the inhale, press into the feet, straighten the legs, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale to rise, feet press down, and the torso lifts, arms reach out and up. And pause here and keep breathing. So press down into the feet and lift the fingertips up. We're going to clasp right hand to left wrist here for a side bend. So inhale as you reach up, lower belly in, and then exhale, moving over towards your right. So the right hand is drawing that left hand over, coming into a side bend. And press your left hip a little bit further towards the left as you find a tiny bit more stretch here. Inhale back to center, release, reach up, left hand to right wrist, and tipping over. So take your awareness to your feet. Feet are firmly grounded, toes can move. Press the right hip to the right, pulling on your right wrist here. And inhale. And then stay here, breathe out. Inhale, come up, reach up. And then very slowly your arms float down by your sides. And you can imagine there's this energy that you're starting to draw in towards your body here by slowly bringing your arms back down by your sides. And then pause and inhale. And maybe sighing out. So Tadasana, top of the mat, heels under sitting bones, even weight in the feet, shoulders roll up and back. Pull a breath in and out. Next breath in, rotate the wrists, reaching out and up. Gaze can follow fingertips. Exhale, soft knees and come into your forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot and left, back to plank. So full plank here. Option to keep knees up or knees down. If you want to go straight into full plank chaturangas. If you're skipping them out today, cat-cows, knees will come down. Make sure your gaze is forward here. So still in plank, lower belly in. Press up a little bit more. On your breath out, knees up or down, lower down. 3, 2, 1, hover. And then release all the way down to the mat for cobra. Inhale, press hands and feet down, lift your heart. Exhale, chest to mat. Inhale, lifting up, ankles towards each other, thighs are drawing up, kneecaps lift. Exhale, chest to mat. One more, inhale, lifting up, find that wave. Exhale, come down halfway. Tabletop or plank on the inhale. Exhale, downward dog or to tabletop. I'm going to come into lizard progression this morning. Inhale, right leg lifts, left heel drops. Exhale, knee to the outside of your right upper arm. Maybe there's a little tap. Step the right foot forward. Left knee can be up or down. Check that there's enough space between the feet here. So angle for the left thigh if you've taken it down to the mat. Right toes and right knee facing the same direction. First one, straight arms. So fist, fingertips or palms on the mat. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, pause here. So you might like to lift your back knee if you've taken the knee down. And strengthening that left thigh here. So draw the left thigh up. Press the heel away. Hips are lifted. Inhale for that line of energy through the back of the body. All the way to the top of the head. And breathe out. Grounding down into the hands if you're not already. Lower belly in, step back, downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left knee taps outside of the left upper arm, left foot forward. So same version as the first side, back knee up or down. Fist, fingertips or palms on the mat. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, pause. So that back knee's lifted. Remember, thighs engaged, heel presses away. Our whole front foot, our whole left foot's grounded here. Lower belly in and checking with your gaze. So in these lunge type positions, gaze forward so that you can feel that line of energy all the way through the back, going through the neck. Another breath in and out. Ground the hands if they're not already. Inhale, lower belly in, step back, downward dog. One breath here. And then next inhale, bend the knees, right foot then left, starting to walk. Meeting at the top of the mat, Uttanasana, breathe out, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or fingertips to mat. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, come all the way up, arms reach out and up. Exhale, hands to heart, Tadasana, a breath here. And then release, arms by side. Inhale, rotate the wrists, reaching out and up. Lift the side body, lower belly in. Exhale, soft body, front body as we come into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot then right, back to plank. Knees up or down, maybe cat-cows. This will be back bend of choice, but we're going to have a little hold before whatever back bend you choose to do again. So press the back of the body up, lower belly in, gaze is looking forward here. Inhale, and then knees up or down, lower. 3, 2, 1, hover. Take another inhale. Exhale, you're either coming all the way down or waiting for the inhale. Cobra or upward dog, lifting the heart. Exhale, move back, downward dog, or to tabletop. Coming into lizard again. Inhale, right leg lifts, left heel drops. Exhale, right knee outside of the right upper arm. Foot comes forward. Again, back knee up or down. You might like to choose to stay with straight arm variation. You might like to get your block, placing it on any level, and then taking the forearms down. If you can, forearms can come all the way down to the mat here. And then forearms on the mat, right foot on the mat, back knee up or down. So we're a little bit lower, hopefully this time, unless you kept the legs straight like we did for our first variation. And then feeling into the inside of your right leg here, right thigh. And press those forearms or hands down. If you've got that back knee lifted, engage that foot lifting up. Beautiful. If you don't have a block but you want to practice coming a little bit lower, you'll be in a chaturanga arm type position here. We'll take another breath in and out. If you're on a block, take your hands to the mat. If you have both forearms on the mat, press into your hands and see if you can lift both forearms evenly. And then take it back, downward dog. Reposition, check hands are grounded. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee outside of the left upper arm, left foot comes forward. So again, checking, block, any height. Forearms can come down, or forearms on the mat. Arms might be straight or your chaturanga arms. And then if you lifted your knee on the other side, tuck the right toes, lift the knee. And as you breathe in, press through the heels, so the heel's pressing away from your belly button, but then feel the length so that the crown of the head moves away from your belly button as well. So there's these two opposing actions, heel moving one way, crown of the head moving the other. Left foot stays grounded, breathe into the left inner thigh. Lift those hips a little bit more, and out. If you've got your block, taking it off to the side. If you've got both forearms on the mat, separate the hands if they've been together, press into the hands to evenly lift the elbows, and then move back, downward dog. Or maybe we are moving to tabletop. We'll take 2 breaths here. Remember the softness in the knees, heart moves back towards the thighs. And then on your inhale, knees will bend, look to the very top edge of the mat, left foot then right. One step or lots of steps. Uttanasana, breathing out. Inhale, halfway lift, so hands to shins or fingertips on the mat. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, rise, come all the way up, arms reach out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath into Sirsasana. Let your shoulders soften. You can sigh out to reset the breath. Arms by side. So one more lizard pose here, our third variation for lizard this morning. Inhale, rotate the wrists, reach out and up. Exhale, sink down into chair pose. Arms anywhere you'd like here. So you can keep hands at heart. You might keep arms up. You might be in cactus arms. So that feel even weight in the feet. Check the toes can lift up, lower belly in. Sit down into your chair. So we're keeping our heart lifted, lower belly in as we sink down a little bit more. For 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, move the thighs towards each other. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, straighten the legs, tip the body forward. Uttanasana, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift, even weight in the feet. Exhale, step float or walk back to plank pose. So whatever variation you're going with, knees up or down, maybe cat-cows. We're going to hover before the back bend again. Inhale, press the back body up. Exhale, elbows bend back. 3, 2, 1, hover. Take a breath in. You're breathing out. If you're going to come into upward dog, if you're coming into cobra, lower down, and then inhale, we'll all lift up. elbows towards each other, ankles towards each other. And then exhale, slowly back, downward dog, or to tabletop. Third variation of lizard is going to include a twist if you'd like to. So remember, stay first variation with arms straight, or second variation with your forearms on something. And then there could be a twist in either of those options. So start again, inhale, right leg lifts, left heel drops. Exhale, right knee, right upper arm, bring that right foot forward. So you might choose to start with your left knee on the mat. Hands either on the mat with your arms straight, or maybe forearms to something. It's the first option to get the arm set up. And then find that length. Maybe you're lifting your left knee. And then maybe you're choosing to come onto the outside edge of your right foot here. And we'll inhale long spine, so keeping the heart facing down, and breathe out, soften the shoulders. Whatever you're doing with your arms, you could choose to take this into a twist here. So you can take more weight onto your left hand or your left forearm. You might even like to spin the left fingertips towards the right edge of the mat. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, move your heart towards your right knee. Option, right arm might lift here. So keeping everything lifting here, hips will lift, left knee lifts, let the right knee move away from your midline. Inhale, reach up. We'll stay here one more breath, so breathing out, gaze might be at the top hand, or you're looking at your knee. Another breath in. Exhale, bring this hand down. If you've got both forearms on the mat, lifting up evenly. If you've got your block in place, taking it out. We're going to step back to plank, optional vinyasa here. So lower belly in, left thigh draws up, plank pose. If you're going through your flow, knees up or down. Wait for your breath out and lower. 3, 2, 1. There's a 1 breath hover. And then on your next inhale, lift up. Exhale back, downward dog, or to tabletop. 2 breaths here. And then lizard on our other side. Wait for your inhale, lift your left leg up, arms straight and engaged. Exhale, left knee, left upper arm, left foot comes forward. So right knee might drop first, arms set up first. So arms can stay straight, or you can have forearms on your block, or all the way down to the mat. So once you've got your arm position set up, maybe tuck the toes, lift the right knee. And then taking a breath here, lengthen through the spine, so heart still facing down. And then choosing if you're twisting. So you can even keep your forearm on your block here. I've moved my forearm so that I've got more forearm on the block to keep me stable here. Maybe taking the outside edge of the left foot to the mat. And then inhale, lengthen, and exhale, start to take heart towards your left knee. So options here, left arm might lift. Or you might be keeping left hand to hip, or maybe left hand comes to your thigh, whatever option you did on the other side, and we'll breathe here. We keep lifting up the back line of the body, so lifting the hips. Press the outside of the left foot into the mat, press your hand or forearm down. Inhale here, drishti might be up. Exhale. We'll take another breath in, and then exhale. Heart comes to face down, hands or forearms to the mat. You've got your both forearms down, again practicing lifting both arms up at the same time. It's another optional vinyasa, so if you'd like to, step back to plank. If you're choosing to rest, any rest pose that you'd like. We'll come down for a count of 3 and another 1 breath hover. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, lower. 3, 2, 1. Breath in, hover. Breath out, stay in, and inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, move back, downward dog, puppy or child's pose. And we're going to pause here, a couple of breaths. If you've come into your child's pose, let everything soften. Feeling into your breath. If you're in downward dog, you're going to let your knees drop down to the mat. If you're in your child's pose, you're going to lift up. You might like your blanket again. You're going to come to kneel on the mat here. So padding for the knees might be needed. So coming to lift the hips. You'll need your block if you've got one, or something that you can use as a block. So gate pose again this morning. Taking your left leg out to the side and then place your block in front of your left knee here. So this foot here, heels coming out from the hip, so it's not too far back or too far forward, and grounding down into that foot. So the toes face forward. It's a very similar position for our warrior two back foot. And then we lift up here. This block here, if you can bend over enough, we're going to take our fingertips down to the mat. So let this left hand angle, inhale, right arm reaches out and up. And then exhale, keep pressing the hips forward as we start to come into the side bend, and fingertips will come down. The first variation here, obviously we're on our highest level. Press your fingers or your fist or your palm into the block and lift. So you're going to feel this movement of the body lifting up so that they can start to get more sensation down the side body here. The top arm needs to, hand comes to hip, and we can take the shoulder out of this completely. If your arms lifted, fingertips stay active, and then press into the foot, press into the fingertips, feel that lift. So almost a slight subtle spin here, and then breathe out. You can practice maybe taking the block down to the middle level here, or the lower level, or if there's the space in your body too, you can take your fingertips all the way down to the ground. I'm going to do 3 more breaths here. Inhale, lengthen through the side body, all the way through the fingertips if the arm is lifted, and breathe out, spin. So this bottom hand stays active the whole time. The arm is active, pressing down so that you can find this spin sensation. Get another breath in. And another breath out. On the inhale, lower belly in, come all the way up. Reach the arms to shoulder height. Block will need to come off to the side of the mat. And then hands come down. If you've got a blanket there, you'll probably need to move this as well. We're going to lift up briefly so that the blanket come off to the side. And then this left foot, we'll step it forward. Actually, step any foot that feels most appropriate forward, so we can come into pyramid pose. So pyramid pose, front foot, toes and knees face forward, back foot, it's on a slight angle here. And then move about in the hips so that you can feel even here. And then start to straighten your right leg, take your right hip back. If you have your block, you can place your fingertips on your block here. And then inhale, coming high up onto your fingertips to lengthen, so taking your spine as parallel to the ground as possible. And then on a breath out, bowing forward over this front leg. So the front leg, that hip keeps moving back. Let the back foot keep pressing it down. Inhale, lifting up slightly here. So not all the way to the halfway lift, about halfway. And then exhale, bowing forward again. We'll inhale to lengthen. Exhale, straighten that front leg. Bring the body towards the front leg a little bit more. One more breath. And out. You're going to bend your front knee and then walk your hands around to the long edge of your mat and start to separate the feet a little bit more. Heels out, toes in. Once you're in this wide-legged forward bend, inhale, halfway lift, coming high up onto your fingertips, and exhale, forward bend again. Check in, even weight in the feet. Press the heels down, press the ball of the foot down. We'll inhale, halfway lift again. Engage the thighs. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale to lengthen, and then this time walk your hands over towards your right foot, keeping both legs straight here. Fingertips, maybe they're on the mat. If that feels like it's a little bit too much this morning, you can take your hands to your leg, and then on a breath out, start to spin. So there's a little twist, spinning your heart towards that right thigh. Keep both legs straight here. If you need to, tip a little bit more weight forward into the fronts of the feet. We'll inhale here. Find a little bit of length. Legs are straight and engaged. Exhale, heart towards the eyes. Inhale, coming hands back to center. And then exhale, walk your hands over to the other foot, so to our left foot. Inhale, find the length, straighten the legs, even weight in the feet. And then exhale, heart towards the eye. Notice if one of those knees bends. See if you can keep the legs evenly straight. So if there's a bend in the knees, the bend is even. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, coming forward. And as you pause here, maybe feeling the sitting bones separating slightly. Legs stay engaged, even weight on the feet. Another breath in and out. Inhale, walk back to center, halfway lift. And then exhale, walking your hands to the front of the mat. Optional vinyasa if you'd like to go through your flow. So ground down into your hands, stepping back, plank pose. And then in your own time, lower down, 3, 2, 1. Hover, inhale. Stay, exhale. Inhale, back bend of choice, cobra or upward dog. Ankles towards each other. Exhale, move back, downward dog. Or to tabletop. 2 breaths. And then dropping the knees if you're in downward dog. Getting your blanket set up. If you would like to pad the knees again, we'll come into our gate pose, other side. So block comes to be in its place. So this time, right leg out. So the hips stay forward here, hips over knee. The block, highest level first, bring it in front of that right knee. So check again, heel straight out from the hip, grounding down to that foot, warrior 2 foot, and then making sure block's in a place where you'll be able to take fingertips to it. Inhale, left arm, reach it out and up. And then exhale, start the tip over. So fingertips, fist or palm, on this block, adjusting so that the block's in a place so that you can press down and feel the lift and reach through the fingertips. Remember, arm can be down or hand can be on here. And inhale, lengthen, press down to lift and spin. Exhale, reach the fingertips away. If you did on the other side and you want to here, explore, maybe the block comes down to a lower level. If you don't have the block in this position, you're going to keep your fingertips in front of the thigh and press down and imagine that you're touching the block or imagine that you're touching the ground here. If you took your fingertips even lower, so lowest level of the block or down to the ground, you can play with that as well. We'll take 2 more breaths. And front body keeps moving forward. Find that spin for the underside of the body. Reach the fingertips away. Another breath in and out. On an inhale, lower belly in, coming all the way up. Hands are at shoulder height. Block needs to come off the mat. We're coming into pyramid on the other side. So whatever your opposite leg is, you'll probably be facing the back edge of your mat this time. Lift up. Taking that blanket out and then bringing 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So opposite feet, hopefully stretching the opposite leg. Get your feet in position. So we've got our railway tracks. This back foot, you'll notice that the stance is pretty narrow, pretty small for pyramid pose. And those back toes, they're facing mostly towards the top corner of the mat here. So a slight angle away from the midline. Inhale, lengthen, straighten the legs, even up the hips here. So keep remembering this sensation, this front foot, back hip moves back, and then holding this, bowing forward here. Remember, hands can be on block or blocks. And press into both feet. Inhale, lifting up, halfway lift, and then exhale, coming forward. We can inhale, do a little lift this time, and exhale, forward bend. Front foot, keep moving that hip back. Leg as straight as you'd like here, so there could be a little bend. The back foot, press it down and breathe. Letting the spine soften here. We'll take another breath in and out. Bend your front knee. We're going to spin into our wide forward bend again. So taking your hands to the long edge of the mat and then separating the feet here. We'll inhale, halfway lift, heels out, toes in, and exhale, come into your forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift again, maybe having a hand on the block, so left hand on the block, and on a breath out, we'll twist heart towards the right foot. Maybe this arm lifts up. Press into the feet, inhale, long spine. Exhale, spin and reach. One more breath in. And then on the breath out, bringing that hand down, soften. Inhale, halfway lift, even weight in the feet, right hands on the ground. So either on your mat or on your block, it's right underneath your nose. On it, exhale, after you've lengthened, heart spins towards the left, right, left arm might lift as well. So again, same as when we did this forward bend before, legs stay evenly straight. So if both knee to bend one knee, bend both knees. Press into the feet, spin the heart, gaze might look up. We'll press down on the inhale, feet and fingertips. Exhale, spin. Last breath in. Exhale, hands come down and soften, waterfall the spine forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, walking your hands towards the top of your mats. Optional vinyasa. If you're going to go through your flow, ground down through the hands, both feet back, knees up or down. 3, count lower. A breath where we hover, elbows moving towards each other, and then inhale, back bend of choice. Exhale, move back, downward dog, puppy, or child's pose. We'll count 3 breaths here. We're going to come into our seat here to explore our revolved Janu Sirsasana. So you can either practice your float forward here, or you can take your knees down to the mat, or you can take one knee towards the hands and then the other. Come to sit. So if you have a block or something you can use as a block, you'll need it handy for this version this morning. We'll take the legs wide into Parivrtta Konasana first. So a V shape that feels most comfortable for you. If you need your blanket comes underneath your hips here. And then we're going to draw the left heel in, so bending your left knee here. And then your block, like we did for gate pose, we're going to place the block on the inside of the right leg here. This will adjust this when we come into the side bend. So this action that we did in gate pose, when we had our hand connected to the block and we did this lift and spin, this is a similar action that we're going to take in our forward bend this morning. If you would prefer to stay with Monday's version, so in Monday's version, we kept the hand on the leg with the arm straight and leant over towards the foot, you're very welcome to stay with Monday's version. So today's version, we'll be using the block if you'd like to go there. So again, check even weight on the sitting bones. You'll spin your heart to face towards your left knee. And then inhale, lift up. And exhale, start to come into a tiny little side bend and take your forearm down to your block here. So the forearm can rest along the whole of the block here. If this right knee needs a little bend, take a bend to it to keep the knee and the toes facing up. And then once you've got your forearm on the block, keep spinning your heart towards your left knee. And then inhale, find length. And then exhale, maybe start to slide a little bit further. So you'll probably need to shift your block along. Once you get there, inhale, spin. Exhale, maybe lower. So we're going to keep moving this block until we get to the point where we're at the most side bend that we would like to do this morning. And then we can start to incorporate this top arm. So we press down our forearm down and we can inhale, take this arm up. This left arm, you might like to stay here. you might like to take the fingertips over towards the foot. So on a breath out, you can then slowly start to take this arm hovering overhead like we do in side angle. And press down into the block so that you can lift and spin and breathe out. Reach your fingertips towards your right foot. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Inhale, press down into the block and reach. You might even like to explore a higher or lower level of the block. So you might take the block down and then find this spin action. Reaching those fingertips towards the right foot. Remember, bending that right knee if you need to. On an inhale, slowly come up. Arms can reach out. Exhale, hands come down. Take your block off to the side. If you need to, gently help this knee to bend. Look for a hug here, so reset the spine. And then coming back, Parivrtta Konasana, this V shape for our legs. So this time, right foot comes in. This is half butterfly for the right side, keeping this left leg out. So your thighs stay in this wide open position, taking your block to the inside of the leg. So whichever height you started with on the other side, we'll do that here as well. Sitting bones on the mat, spin your heart towards your right knee. Inhale, lift up. And then keeping this lift, start to come into the side bend. And we're going to shift this block until we get to the point where we feel most comfortable in the side bend. So keep moving your heart towards your right knee. And then as you breathe out, maybe this block slides a little bit further away. And then when you get to that point, you want to be at a point where you can still press the elbow or forearm down. Heart's facing towards this knee. Inhale, arm lifts. So this arm lifting is helping to get the heart to face up towards the sky a little bit more. And then you can choose to stay here, or maybe you'll hover this arm over. Then you're going to imagine that you're taking your fingertips and reaching them towards the tips of your toes here. Remember, bend in the knee if you need to. Inhale, lengthen and spin. Exhale, fingertips reach to the foot. And press down into that block. Find the spin and exhale, reach. So if you explore different levels, maybe the block comes down to its lowest level, which means you can get the torso a little bit lower. But make sure you're not compromising this open here. If you get low and you start to have round forward and the heart's facing the ground, take it up to the middle level or even the highest level of the block. We'll do 2 more breaths here. So active side bend, press down, spin, reach your fingertips to the toes. Another breath in. And out. Wait for your inhale, lower belly in, come up. A lot of core strength to lift all the way up. And then exhale, hands come down. Beautiful, block off the mat here. Bring both the knees back, have a hug. And pause here. And then we're going to come to lie down on the mat, putting on anything you need to be warm. And then when you're ready to, you'll slowly roll down onto your mat. 1 vertebrae at a time. There's no rush. Once you get there, we're going to come into an active stretch for the body. So it's like Sirsasana on our back. You'll press your heels away and you'll lift your arms up away from the feet. So fingertips reach away and heels press away, just like when we do the Sirsasana, our lifting of the arms in our sun salutation. And we'll breathe here and pause. So once you get down to being on the back, press the heels away. You'll probably feel your thighs draw up and stretching the sides of the body, and reach your fingertips away from the belly button and breathe. And then count 2 more breaths. 1 more, reach and press. And then exhale, soften, bring your arms back down. You can bend your knees here. And we'll come into a twist on our back this morning. So take your arms out to make a T. You might like to keep your feet grounded this morning so that you sway the knees. If you want a tighter twist, lift the knees so that they're over the hips. Take a breath in here, and then exhale, move the knees over to the right, any version of twist that you like. And gaze can stay up, or you can look to your left hand and breathe here. So breathe into the side body where you can feel this more passive stretch now as you let the weight of your legs move down to the ground. And then next inhale, knees come back to center, adjust the hips and the spine. And then on a breath out, knees over to the left. If you turn the head, taking the head to the right hand. And then breathe into that side of the body, the right side of the body. And let the shoulder blades melt down. Eyes might close here. And soften and breathe. And then wait for the inhale, bringing your knees back to center. Adjust spine and hips and drawing your knees into your chest. Our last hug. Taking a moment now to do any other movements that you'd like to make so that you can be comfortable for Shavasana. Then squeeze in here, happy baby. Move the feet about and then release. Have your back of your head flat on the mat. So if the lower back needs support, knees stay bent. Knees touch, feet go wide. If the lower back feels good this morning, straighten the legs. Let the toes move out to the sides. Arms by your sides. Shuffle the hips and the buttocks about so that the lower back is comfortable. Start to soften the feet and the hands, and then the shoulders and the jaw. And close your eyes. And release the muscles of the face. Take a full breath in through the nose. And sigh out. And then allow yourself to surrender completely into Shavasana. Take a full breath into your belly and release. As your awareness comes back to where you are on your mat, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And continue to move the body so that you slowly wake back up again. And when you've moved and stretched enough, soften your knees and find your way onto your right side. And take a couple of breaths here. And then use an inhale to lift up to your comfortable seat. And when you're in your seat, eyes can stay closed or have your soft gaze to the top of your mat and bring your palms to touch in front of your heart. Long spine, open heart. Crown faces the sky. Come back to your intention and repeat this to yourself 3 times. We'll seal our practice together with Om. A breath in through the nose. Gratitude for our practice this morning. Bow your head, hands to third eye. Namaste. Thank you for sharing class this morning.
Thanks, Jackie.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. I can see sun outside, which is nice. A little bit of light. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thanks, Jesse. See you Friday. Bye.